Why am I so grainy?
I've been asking that question for years. I'm gonna annoy you tonight. I can tell. So,
Yeah, you really are.
where are you?
you what?
Where are you?
I'm downstairs. I was having trouble getting the computer hooked
Oh,
up upstairs, and I came down here to have you torture me even further.
oh, I have to show you something. This is me. Okay, you ready? This is a beer, right? Just a normal beer, but watch this. See how far above a full pint it is? That
Yes.
is what I bring you, the audience. As much as I can give. And then some. Okay, anyway.
Wow, you suck so bad. Can't tell you.
So,
Wow, there's a lot of lag.
yeah, it is a little, you look rainy, but actually it's kind of working for you. As I choke. Haven't had any beer yet, so that's probably the problem.
Uh, Part of it.
So let's talk about Baahubali, the beginning, 2015. This is part one of a
Yeah.
two-part movie. Well, let me just read the description real quick. This is what they had on
Okay.
IMDb. A child from some kingdom I can't pronounce is raised by tribal people and one day learns about his royal heritage, his father's bravery in battle, and mission to overthrow the incumbent ruler. This is 2 hours and 39 minutes. Can I just admit that it felt like 5 hours to me because I was really tired and sleepy when I was watching this?
You know, I came into this thinking that it was like going to be another R.R.R.
Oh, which by the way, it's the same director, S.S. Rajmouli, I think you say his name.
I went back and I checked all that, but it's like a low budget version of R.R.R., right?
That's funny that you say that because one of the things I noticed was, well, this was 2015, so one thing I noticed is that the CGI looks pretty good. It actually looks really good for 2015, but
Yeah, it does,
not as good
but
as RRR.
not as good as R.R.R. And the thing is I think that um, the amazing crazy edge of R.R.R. was kind of lacking on this one. Um, I mean, there was it. I have a feeling that maybe R.R.R. might have set my goals for Indian films too high.
Well, that was RRR came out a few years later. I think
Right.
this actually set the goal higher for CGI for other movies
Maybe for other
and
movies.
cinematography a little bit. Don't you think this is really pretty
Yeah,
overall?
I thought it was well. The thing is, it also worked around a waterfall quite a bit, you know, and I think that the waterfall kind of helped because and I also have to say this is the city that we're in is spectacular and it is so big it is unfathomable. I mean it is so exaggerated that you have to go, come on, you mean yeah. I mean RRR kind of has a feel that is a little bit more. I mean it's RRR is crazier, but it's crazier in a more believable way.
No, yeah, totally. I agree with that. Yeah, completely. Well, it's kind of like when you watch Star Wars and they have like that meeting, council meeting, and they have like
Right.
all those people. And you're like, there's no way there's all those people there.
Yeah, because when it gets to a certain point, it's kind of like what I think of is the worst parts of some of the Marvel movies is when it gets to a certain point, you just go, it's just crap. It's just crap coming at my eyeballs, you know. And that was kind of the problem with that city is you're like, okay, not only is there not a city like this, there aren't many planets that are like that, that are like that complicated and that big, you know?
Well, you can tell this director likes to go as big as possible, and
Oh,
I
no
respect
doubt. I
that
mean,
for
you know,
sure. But oh, I mean, I don't know. I think I was just overwhelmed by how bright and pretty the colors were, and just the way the cameras moved. I thought everything was beautiful as far as how they executed it, but I felt it was kind of boring and slow. And there's a lot of references I didn't understand. Like, if I was an Indian male who lived in India, I'd probably understand a lot of the references of the stories they were making.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of where I was. The thing is let's put it this way. I think that part of R.R.R. that's relatable is that you can understand what the conflict is.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I because it's historical, right? I don't think that this is as much historical as it is mythical.
Yeah. Well, I fell asleep at a certain point, and then I thought, well, I'll rewind it.
Well,
and I thought maybe I didn't rewind it far enough because I missed something, but I didn't.
You didn't.
I was like, who is this guy fighting again? Why are they look? Yeah, I mean, they're wearing different pants, but
and why does he look exactly like the other guy?
You know, I was like, the pants. Fighting? So I just focused on the pants. Black pants. Okay, red pants.
Did you do that after a while? Did you start remembering what the good guy was wearing as compared to what the other guy was wearing?
Well, the headgear helped.
It did. To me, it was like primarily the headgear. But the thing that really kind of got me is that when it was the next day and they were both wearing new clothes, I got that thing of like, oh, wait, now I got to figure out which one is which again.
Well, the bad guy had the sneer.
So unfair.
He had a little sneer. Oh, if you saw a woman infested with butterflies, would you try to jump her, or would you run away?
It was kind of amazing, though. The butterfly shot, don't get me wrong. There were some shots that were just flat out stunning.
Yes, yeah.
But
the waterfall, where he's climbing the waterfall.
Yeah, where he's climbing the waterfall, right? And the stuff like that. But at the same time, you had to say, yeah, but the story is kind of like, yeah. But let me just say that there is a part 2, and I've seen some scenes from part 2 that were absolutely crazy.
Okay. So if you could take part 2 and edit it down and then send it to me, I'll watch it.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, well, I was thinking about you and Avatar. I'm like, well, Avatar is probably out there on a streaming service. He could probably watch 30 minutes at a time and muddle through it.
Yeah.
And see what everybody else is talking about. Let's see what the fuss is about. This one, there wasn't much fuss for me. I thought it was well done, but I was not really following everything, and I didn't really care after a certain point. I'm like, I don't really care what the plot is, but it's pretty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It became background.
It's possible, but this one might have been a little bit more of an inside joke, or not an inside joke, but an inside story.
Yeah,
you know, because I mean, as far as relatability goes.
Well, I can relate to the hot woman kicking ass. That was awesome.
Well, there was that. Yes, yeah.
Avika, what was her name? I wrote it down.
I mean, you know, the problem is the rest of the time I was just trying to figure out which one of them was which.
Avithika. She was amazing. She was kicking ass with the sword. She was taking heads off left and right. I liked it. It looked like a dream. The whole thing looked kind of like a dream, like I was dreaming this, which I thought I was at a certain point. And then I was like, we've talked about this before.
Turns out.
We've talked about this before, though. We both have SAS, which is a short attention span. I suffer from SAS.
Yeah, SAS, yeah. Short attention span. Yeah, I'm there with you.
So I don't know. Maybe it was my state of mind.
It's called Twitter syndrome.
Well, I think this director, obviously, if you look at his list and the timing of each movie, he tries to set the bar somehow for everybody else to follow him. So he's kind of a leader, I think, even for American cinema.
There's no doubt. And the thing is let's put it this way. Let's just say that R.R.R. to me, which is the same director, is absolutely such a kick-ass film that people should be that Americans and here's the thing, at least half the people in the films that I've been working on other crew members are fans of the R.R.R., right? But I think that that's the kind of film that you need for a breakthrough. I just think that this is a little bit too regional to actually be that film.
And this follows Iga pretty closely, like date-wise. It's after Iga a little bit. The Fly one.
Okay. Oh, the Fly. To me, the Fly was amazing and totally understandable.
Well, what's interesting is I remember we reviewed R.R.R. and you were like, I really liked it. I found it interesting. It was exciting, but it's just not my kind of film. That's cool. But you still liked it. You still liked how it was done.
I did.
Executed. I think this was executed very well, but I found it could have been half as long, twice as interesting if it was half as long.
Half as long and a quarter is interesting.
Maybe it's a cultural thing I'm missing. Maybe there's a reason why.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is
Indian movies are 3 hours long.
R.R.R. is more relatable because it's a West versus East story.
Yeah.
This particular story is an Eastern story is more of a tribal set of stories.
Yeah. What I mean by missing something, I was like, maybe there's a reason why they're 3 hours long. Maybe it's because, well, it's hot there. Maybe they want to keep people in the air conditioning for 3 hours. Maybe the audiences appreciate that. I'm stretching here a little bit, but
maybe they're just watching our '60s movies instead of our more recent ones. That's true.
And I feel like we need to go back into Indian cinema, like back in the 50s. I think there were some horror movies back in the 50s that are totally different, probably.
Didn't we watched an Indian horror film recently that was pretty amazing?
Yeah, but that was fairly recent, I think, though.
No, that was very recent. That was very, very recent.
Like 2000s.
And
I'm blanking on the name of that one.
Yeah, that's good going on that.
It's hard to remember all the ones that we've done, like even like from 5 years ago. It's really hard to remember those.
Are you kidding? I can't even remember. I can't remember anything anymore. It's I'm with you. But what I do remember about this one is it was a little long. Like you said, it was beautiful. Certainly, some of the CGI mats were astounding. But I'm not 100% sure that that CGI mats are what a movie makes.
There should be an award for that. Best CGI mats in a feature film.
Yeah, you can find your award. It's up there.
They bought them at Target. What was that? You were talking about a movie where you bought them at Target. It's a Charlie Band movie, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, as far as my ratings for this, like you said, it was pretty and all the rest of that. But the story, even if I got it, I still didn't get it. I would have to get down to a 2.3.
I mean, I would chase a woman covered in butterflies.
Well,
so I give it a little higher rating than you do, probably.
Yeah.
But I was looking back. We both gave Iga 4 stars out of 5. I gave R.R.R. 4.2.
That was the horror film.
Yeah. The Fly. That was the Fly.
The Fly. Oh, well. Yeah, that was.
And you gave R.R.R. 3.9, and I gave it 4.2. And then
there you go.
This one, I think I'm around to 3. Just to kind of, I think it's a little bit above average because I was captivated by the visuals, but I was not really paying attention to the story anymore. About halfway through, I was like, I give up. I'm going to do other things and watch it.
Like I say, I think it was a mythology that
we don't get. Yep.
Kind of works within that language, but it didn't work.
It's like watching Beowulf, but never knowing the story of Beowulf.
Exactly.
Okay, is that the producer telling us we need to?
Yeah, that was the producer saying move it on.
Okay.